Holler if you hear me, and welcome to this edition of our Uncensored. It is the top of the hour, 10 p.m. Eastern. We are here and to start a whole new week between what we have got and what we are doing and what we will be doing. And this time, well, now that we are getting into the last week of September and the first convention I'll be doing for the first time in a while is YumaCon, the first weekend of November. And since that's all Japanese culture, that's all anime, manga, and their gaming industry, we are going to be doing what is the big anime franchise that now really broke the trend of terrible Hollywood live action adaptations of anything, TV form, movie form, whatever. And that's why One Piece. We've got little Nami from One Piece right here. We've got Matt G in the chat. I know he's now changed his now. It's Taylor Swift greater than Disney Star Wars, but no, it's Matt G. So hello there. We've got my father in the chat. Let's see who else comes on in. Yes, little Nami in the form that people know her the most in the original manga and on the anime and all that, with the little top and just the jiggly right there. I'm not attracted to tattoos, but she's got the one arm tattoo. All right. I'm going to draw her accurately, even if it's with something I don't agree, something that I don't like. Now, that's the difference between an actual successful artist who really is able to work and really able to draw, and the difference between that and what you see with the idiots who draw for Marvel or DC, who are just shrieking ideologues, but then you wonder why they're smelly freaks with side shaves and nobody likes them. Even their own parents don't like them. They're the kind of people who would look at Monday Night Football and would just look through the whole thing to tweet at something. Then again, these are the same people who are a little preoccupied with threatening people over a McDonald's commercial because they can't stand the sight of seeing a happy family together. And nobody's ever bringing up about why is it that you're focusing on that instead of, well, maybe you should just not eat McDonald's in the first place. Or Burger King, before or after the situation where now Burger King is now doing part of the worldwide media fatwa against Russell Brand of the you're guilty until you disappear, not even guilty until proven innocent. Now, because Rumble told British Parliament to go fuck themselves, now you've got Burger King pulling their ads away from that website Rumble. So with all the more reason to avoid fast food like that, well, there you are. And remember, if you're the kind of person who's not going to just give it up, you still want something else, similar thing I would say to what the whole Bud Light fiasco that's still going on, and now major retailers are starting to pull Bud Light from their shelves because it's just sitting there and it's been not selling for so many months that they're moving it away. Same thing with Burger King, with McDonald's or whatever. With Burger King, what they're doing now, well, there's still McDonald's and there's still Wendy's, and those are just the big national chains. There's also Arby's, and that's not as big, but still around the country. Or maybe even your region will have some local area or some that isn't as national, like Carl's Jr. or a Jack in the Box or Checkers or Rallies or a Hardee's, or maybe even Crystal. When I was living down in Florida, there was Crystal there, which before that I'd only seen was in a deleted scene from Borat. There was a montage that they cut out from the final film where it's showing Borat in different parts that involve the South. He takes part in a Civil War reenactment in one clip. They also show him as the cashier at Crystal. And okay, that must be some exclusively Southern thing. And there I was living in Orlando. And yeah, there was a Crystal there. Although interestingly, where it was on this one road where I had to go down this road in order to either get to these couple other different comic book stores so I could go do the shop, or to get to the best place for like art supplies in the city. Because yeah, there were the Michaels, but this place called Sam Flax, that from back then there was a Sam Flax in Orlando and there was one in Atlanta, and those were the only two locations. They might have more, or at least, or either that or they completely folded. But to go down that road, when I started going down that road, it was you would have like a lot of dirty construction work. You'd find like broken glass and needles on the road, and around that area with the broken glass and needles and gravel and construction and shit was where you would see the Crystal. But then the further and further you went down, you suddenly see Total Wine and Spirits. You suddenly see a 2-story Barnes & Noble. You suddenly see a McDonald's that looks like it was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. You suddenly see this Bob Evans that somehow made Bob Evans look upscale. And then passing all that, the dirtiest thing I ever saw in that area, and during that fancy part of the area, was the building next to Sam Flax was it was a little chapter for the Church of Scientology. You'd go there, you'd do the audit, the free audit or something like that, to try to then sign up for the church, and how then you are financially pretty much dependent upon them. where you have to give them all your money, something like that, or a portion of whatever. And well, they're a religion, so they are tax exempt, at least since the 1980s. But yeah, it's the noise about Scientology has died down to the point of there was a big fever pitch with the HBO documentary. Then now you pretty much only see the wife of Kevin James on King of Queens. Still, that's her thing to go on podcasts and talk about it, or at least now it's mostly podcast appearances, when for a while there it was they would book her on The View, they'd book her on Real Time with Bill Maher, they'd book her on all the other major talk shows like that. And well, Abe is in the chat. Hello to Abe. Yes, straight from Geeks and Gamers, who are doing one of their expected 7,000 streams in a day. And not just Geeks and Gamers, I think, from the main site, but all the people who have their own separate sites, from their own separate channels, from D-Day Cobra to then the 87 different channels that Ryan Kennel does. So whenever people talk about somebody who's perpetually online people, well, he counts as perpetually online, because if he's not streaming on his sports channel, then there is the Arcade Outpost Live, and then there is the stream that does and his regular Arcade Outpost, and then there's the 17 videos he'll do in a week, and then there's the multiple Geeks and Gamer streams, you add all that up in a day-to-day experience exponentially. Yes, that is a lot of production. And then on top of that, when he's appearing on other channels, like say when he's a regular on Friday Night Tights, it goes on, it goes on, it goes on. And Abe does claim to get around, maybe not as much as Margot Robbie on a movie set, but still around an awful lot, which is a lot nicer than what the Comicsgate audience, which is becoming more and more like, where with Comicsgate, where it's Ethan Van Sciver whistles and everyone comes running and that's it. Or you go to where Ethan Van Sciver tells you to, so it's basically just John Malin, Rennie Draws, and Narwhal ad nauseum. Or I also wonder, well, a lot of my female audience you see in the streams comes from that Umbrella guy. It's another situation where he's not streaming. He didn't stream earlier today, but I pretty much expect that none of them will be showing up because, well, Camelot 331 is streaming. So, of course, it's a situation there with the talent of getting shirtless on his streams and wearing a headband. I give you a damn variety show, and he gives you, eventually he'll take his shirt off and wear a headband. But I'm the one with the 2K subs, yeah. And one way or another, it's still a hell of a lot more variety than what you're going to get from the RedTuber bitch. And we've got Jespro in the chat. That is nice to see. We've got one of our captain level channel members there. Yes, the channel memberships, the way they go, there's the basic level of sergeant, then captain, then general. Yes, and now the first captain level member was 6 Foot Silka, followed by Jespro. And the tiers you get, well, with the captain membership, you get 4 members only video a week plus an extra daily members only community post, while the sergeant level members, they get the 2 extra videos a week and the 1 a day members only community post. But who else is here? Well, remember, this is straight out in the UK, so it's about 2, according to Abe, it's 2 a.m. over there, so this is a matter of getting up and fighting to keep around here. But all right, he's doing it, and whatever work hours he's got, apparently he can go and just do these things where he can be up till 2 or 3 in the morning on a weeknight. So he can come around, and that's nice. And Jespro says our pants are off. Well, with all that, now I'll give you another look with people coming in at our friend right here, Nami. And the actress who plays her on the Love One Piece Netflix, her last name is Rudd. So now I wonder if she just happens to be related to our friend Ant-Man. Maybe. That's not exactly a common name in Hollywood. So when you hear a name in an acting credit and it's a name that's not commonplace, then automatically you start to go to a place where, oh yeah, that is somebody who's related. And you might actually find some exceptions, even with somebody who has a big family, like with the Baldwins. There is a lot of Baldwin actors, but there is one around that age who happens to be Baldwin, but no, he's not related. It's just that he happens to have Baldwin as the last name. Adam Baldwin, who you would remember either from Firefly, the big jock with the guns, or other things like maybe Predator 2. No, between him not being horribly obese and also his politics, yeah, he's definitely not the kind of Baldwins that we know of. That is especially, remember, Adam Baldwin was the one who online coined that term Gamergate back when all that was going on, and then it wound up sticking with that whole scene that went on, and of course the guilty of what already guilty of whatever they're currently accusing you, Mr. Matt Hickey, the soy journalist who talked about how Gamergate's full of women hating future rapists, and then Matt Hickey gets convicted for 3 years, a 3-year sentence for multiple rapes that also included his own fake casting agency that he used as a front to just get women in bed to trick them into sex. Yeah, that is something that he did. He did that. But with that, remember to support the channel with your super chats or channel memberships, or to donate into my art store. I'll give you the link right here. The link to my art store is pinned to the top of the chat, but I just dropped it into the chat again. So when you donate to my store, that money goes immediately to me instead of to YouTube. So that's why, well, if you really want to go and really show your support and circumvent the whole Google Goliath, a donation to the store, even the minimum amount, is appreciated. So let's say you like that, or maybe even you liked what I did already right here. Well, a $30 donation into my store will get you this piece. It will be sent in the mail immediately first thing tomorrow morning, and also will be the subject of a Luke Goes Postal video. Yes, those are the videos I do when somebody either buys a piece or they are getting a commission delivered. Well, Abe does explain how I was thinking, oh, he must just have a job with some flexible hours. Turns out Abe says, no, I'm retired. That's how I get around. Well, all right, then. Well, if you were into that Comicsgate scene, then probably they would love you because somebody could just be up and around at all hours, because the main guys from EVS to John Malin or whatever are the types who they will just stream at random at all hours of the day or night and expect you to immediately show up. And Jess Bro, the $4.99 super chat says, Luke, will this money make you feel like hollering? Maybe take your shirt off? Well, hollering, well, if you want to hear a little bit of that, well, then you want to know what it's like. The people say that all men are created equal. But you look at me, look at Smo Joe, and that statement is not true. I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. Usually you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. See me, you got a 33% a chance at best at beating me. And then you throw Kurt Angle in the mix, and your chance of winning drastically go down. Now I got a 75 and 30% chance. You got now a 10 and a little 2%. You add that up, you now got a 30% chance of winning. See that, Joe? The numbers don't lie. And this spelled disaster for you. The 3-way match at Sacrifice. Get your bags. Fetch my bags. Get my bags. Yes. Nice. And 6 Foot Soka with a $4.99 super chat says, looks like I arrived at the right time. Oh, yes, you did. All right, there we go. The night time is the light time. Yeah, we've got Enochian Malkuth in there with a simple what the. All right, then. Let's see what else. Daily Dysfunction is coming into the chat. So, okay, early on in the stream, we've got some people coming on in. And let's see. Hello to 6 Foot Soka, and due to him, so now that means both of my captain level channel members are in the chat tonight. So let's see Soka get a nice little, his own look at our little Nami right here. I knew that if I did something with One Piece, we'd get more of the audience coming out tonight. And well, good thing that they are, because we got some jugs right here ready to go. Well, I don't know if Soka's into them, but yeah, that's nice. Well, Soka, yeah, well, remember, there's that for that, not for you, but for anybody, the $30 dono into the store, into my store, and this will be yours. Oh, yes. There's what's yours, or there is what could be yours if you simply follow this and bring this in, because this is only the beginning. There will definitely be more. You'll be seeing the other characters out there, but I had to do something to make sure you all came in. I mean, I know, well, at least now we have Vanessa has a reason to not be around in the chat because of her family problems. But most of that Umbrella Guy audience, I'm now assuming, unless other information comes to light, that it's just because Camelot's on. So that means, of course, they're just going to go to there. Okay. Now I got that. Come on, and oh yes, stay awake. That's a simple there. That's the. So a data dysfunction. If I have to go and do. Get your ass out of bed. That talk show skit that they did on Mad TV. Get your ass out of bed. It was a ghetto like version of Good Morning America. And the clock at the bottom of the screen is just blinking noon because nobody knows how to set up the time. Ain't that right there? That's right, Roger. Oh yeah, Roger. Roger. What, Roger? Yeah. Okay. I don't know about you or where. I don't know about in your neighborhood, but in my neighborhood, when I go into the post office, if there's any other customers, we're the only other white people there. We go in there, and there is a lot of us sisters. Hi there, baby. Or if they're talking like that, then they're at least looking at me like they want some Wonder. They want some Wonder Bread. And Abe, well, I haven't heard from Vanessa V in a few days, so I'm just thinking she's going to go off with her problems and take care of what happened with the death in the family. All right. Data Dysfunction says, I feel bad for Tug right now. Some private stuff is coming out. Well, are you of liberty to say what this private stuff is coming out? I'd like to know, because I know he hasn't been streaming for a few days. Well, 6 Foot Soka. Well, 6 Foot Soka's out there in California, so he knows what I mean about when you go to the post office. So yeah, here in Detroit, there he is in California. You know you're going there. Hi, baby. Yeah. Hi, Miss. It's a lot of Miss Parkers out there. A little bit of that. If you remember all those Ghetto Fabulous sitcoms that UPN had, those shows like Girlfriends or The Parkers, or there was another one, One on One. If you remember that one, yeah, baby. What you shipping out tonight, baby? I see that right there. It'll be good. You looking good too. That's why when it comes to anybody out there, when you either commission me for a piece or you buy anything, you send me out there to the post office. It's not just a matter of me filming that content. It's also a matter of I get to see some of them soul sisters just macking on me, looking like, yeah, that's a. I always like white meat. I get my chicken. I want my meat white and strong because my white meat is all clean and it's healthy. Oh, people say, oh, the white meat's so dry. I don't give a fuck. I'll put some hot sauce on that white meat. You know what? That white meat's going to be sweet. That's right. And, well, when it comes to my father's sex life growing up here in the city, yeah, when you grow up in Detroit, when you hit puberty in the city during the civil rights movement, your chances at some vanilla girls are going to be very limited unless you date the principal's daughter or something like that, which is what he did if he wanted to go and get his own white meat. But that's the situation when you get when a sister gets a nice fresh white meat chicken dinner. If she either goes out to someplace, like a real sit down and they actually cook it, not some fast food place. But if they go to their Popeyes or their KFC, they get that. Well, then they don't get that. They don't get that fresh white meat 8-piece. Some of that Popeyes too, because they got Popeyes. They got all them spices, and it's Louisiana fast. I'm going to get it all nice and white. It's going to be clean. Or 6 Foot says, recently, one of those sisters had a... I'm assuming he's referring to sisters at post office. It says, recently, Luke, one of those sisters referred to these Asians as those Orientals. Well, a lot of from the kind of black women you see out there in Hollywood or out there on cable news... that they do not represent what you see out there in the neighborhoods where you see the real sisters in the real neighborhoods there. They ain't the crazy ass crackhead Joy Reids. They ain't the Shonda Rhimes or Kerry Washingtons. Those kind of women, the kind where if their skin got any lighter, if their hair got any straighter, they changed the name to Michael Jackson. Yeah, then you see there, and a lot of that neighborhood, a lot of those communities ain't exactly PC. Those Orientals, hell, D.L. Hughley, before he became an unlicensed and he became his own self-appointed spokesman for Trayvon Martin, would say some things about minorities that present-day D.L. Hughley would want to have him put in jail for. I'm talking about, oh no, you're not coming Oriental, I'm Asian. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I can't tell apart one motherfucker from another. All I know is that you all run from Godzilla the same way. Which, well, back in the day, it was funny because it's true. At least to what your sister or your brother out there is gonna see. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Oriental, bitch. Oh, make my, you know why I won't go call those motherfuckers what they want to call me. You know why? Because every time I go out to the liquor store, they be screaming, "You buy now, you buy now, you buy now, buy something now." I'm like, bitch, I walked in. I want my lottery tickets. And you know what else? I want to get some Reese's. And you know what? Leroy behind me wants to get some tropical fruit bubblicious and some Skittles. So freeze, bitch. Freeze on the screaming, bitch. That's right, yeah. Like when in Bad Boys, Martin Lawrence, Will Smith pulling the guns on the liquor store. You freeze, bitch, yeah. That's right, motherfucker. That's right, yeah. Yeah. Oh, 6 Foot Soka specifically says, no, this wasn't a post office situation. It was a woman he works with. I work with her, and it was fucking hilarious. Yeah. Yeah. Or I think even we've got some of the gay men in my audience can attest to a lot of men in the Black community not exactly being very big, pride flag wavers when it comes to how they think or how they act towards the gay community. So it can really catch you off guard, but those are little things we know out there. It's like for the people who always want to talk about how offended they are on behalf of Indians, and how many of them have they actually ever interacted with or known, and you actually ever gone out to a reservation, ever even been to some neighborhood where you actually interact with them. And yeah, the Navajos, the Hurons, whatever tribe you want to mention, they're not exactly of the part of I get offended by this or that. It's like the self-own that they then repressed of when the Washington Post put out that big ass poll of people all across America in the Indian community, and how it was like 70% of them out of hundreds upon hundreds that they polled were not offended by the Redskins. And now with the association, the Native American Guardians Association, petitioning the new owners of the Redskins to say, well, the history of the league, the history in the NFL of the Redskins is that it was the team was founded and named with the assistance of an actual member of this specific tribe. So it was his idea to call the team Redskins and to come up with the logo. So to restore the actual respect, and instead of erasing the presence of our community, of our whatever you're going to be calling us today, it was Native Americans. Now that's changed. I think that's changed even again. Well, then you might want to take a look at the actual history of that team. And yeah, it took a man who cries when he sees pollution who came up with the name that they then accepted. Yeah. And well, when it comes to Christopher and his own experience with how blacks treat the gay community, or will just like on a case-by-case basis of interacting with the black man, well, he just says, I don't eat dark meat. Or well, that's also some details from my father when it comes to his experience. Vanilla options are limited, or you could cross 8 Mile, go into those, that go into the suburbia, where then you might get some whitey. Chris Bro says, I need some chocolate love, and I haven't had it in a while. There was one of those black girls that I went to school with who, yeah, she just like flat out like pushed me into the boys' room and just said, yeah, take it out. She went like this, like, yeah, take it out. I want to see. Take it out, baby. I want some white meat. Let's see further. I got white girls in college. And my father in college, he was when he got them, when the white girls he got in college, except for the principal's daughter, because he became a glutton for vanilla, because finally he got what he never got before. It's like every poor black guy who becomes a rich actor or rapper in reverse. They finally want the white women that they were never able to get. It's like a status symbol now, like how OJ traded in his first wife for Nicole, like she was a car. Yeah, that situation going on there. And hello to Commander Classified. Well, we all have been doing well, so that's nice to see. And Commander out from Canada. That's why when it comes to people that leave comments and videos, or like anybody would want to troll me, whatever, of trying to put some Easterphobe, take a good long look at the audience I've got in my premieres or my streams, and I've got more naturally occurring inclusivity than any one of these Trek box DEI loving asswipes could ever shake a stick at. And that's something you could take to the bank. And I literally can do that because when it comes to this channel, they drop in the memberships or the donations or the super chats and all that. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah.
like Matthew going around the state of Texas. And there he is going around, maybe in Houston, might find some big, strong black men. Hey there, Matthew. Or he might even find a reservation, might get some Proudfoot or some Geronimo man going, hi, Matthew. Or then, of course, being a border state with Mexico, you're going to get a lot of Mexicans out there going, also, hola, the Hubak Lagondo, Matthew. And I go, all right, yeah. And also maybe some people in my family. And 6 Foot Silka, right here, one of the original captain level channel member, the first person to go and give a super thanks on a chat. Well, Mexican American right here, in his words. So, all right. Here's a little example of what I'm talking about when it comes to Matthew. And maybe sometimes to go in some of them backwoods towns, you might find some of them cannibals there that look at me like, Matthew, hello, come on. Let's invite you over for dinner. No, we don't mean you literally for dinner. We already killed someone. We're already cooking them. We want to invite you to a barbecue. Yeah, we found some hitchhikers and we're going to be cooking them up nice. Medium rare, yeah. And we'll let you have the ribs. And I thought, well, I don't really mow down on some other people. I was like, oh, don't worry about that. We got some vegetable kebabs and some chicken and sausages for you. I was like, okay, I like that. Yeah. It's like when my Uncle Bill would barbecue and he would give he would have some chicken on there, like some of those vegetable kebabs like that for people if they didn't want the sausage or the meat like that. Or no, the sausage or the ribs. I don't remember him ever cooking steaks. I remember the ribs and I remember the sausages. And also there'd be like chicken on there too. That'd be it, yeah. All right, yeah, come on, go out there. Come on, get that bitch Leatherface. Get that bitch, yeah. That bitch owes me $10. Come on, get her, yeah, get that there, yeah. Oh, that's fun. And whenever I've actually did rewatch it, did that inspire you to go and rewatch that episode of Unsolved Mysteries that had Matthew McConaughey's first acting job in a reenactment of one skit? It's on either the official YouTube channel for the show and also available on Tubi at season 5, episode 19. One of the skits features Matthew McConaughey even before Dazed and Confused. So this must have been his first role, and he would have been still early in his going to Texas, University of Texas, because he said that the interview clip I mentioned about how he got his big part in Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation was he auditioned for it the summer after he graduated from Texas, and that's where he graduated, and then he was ready to go out to California, but first he slept on a buddy's couch and filmed his part for Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation. Then went out there and got whatever he could, and a lot faster because they go and really ask personal case-by-case basis of people when their acting careers start, and from when he first really moved out to LA and the bit parts he had here or there. But say, all right, then that would mean 94, summer 94. From that to about summer 96, he goes from he's first going out there to set up his career to then getting a lead in a big budget studio production, if you remember A Time to Kill. The movie that you might remember because that is what Dave Chappelle was referencing in his Samuel Jackson beer commercial, where he yells, yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. Where Matthew McConaughey is Samuel L. Jackson's lawyer, where he's a Vietnam vet who gunned down Klansmen who raped and murdered his daughters. It was directed by Joel Schumacher, because nothing says film Joel Schumacher would direct between Batman Forever and Batman and Robin than a legal thriller about a lawyer's life getting threatened by representing a murder suspect who's on trial for avenging the rape and murder of his daughters against Klansmen. Yeah. But it's compare that to say Jennifer Lawrence, who started acting when she wasn't even high school age, about high school age. And I think the very first thing she did was something I actually remember watching when it aired. And then later on when her career took off and they showed, oh, here's how she started. I was like, oh yeah, I saw that. It was a commercial for My Super Sweet 16 on MTV. And she must have been 14, 15 or something. So from there to then say her first big Oscar nominated role when she was still trying to be a edgy dramatic actress, that movie A Winter's Bone. But there she is, a 20-year-old getting Best Actress nominated, and she shows up. She stole the dress that Scarlett Johansson wore, the dress they made out of a Baywatch bikini that Scarlett Johansson wore at the Golden Globes, where Isaac Mizrahi was groping her on the red carpet. And so that alone was like 5-6 years or so just to get to the big Oscar-nominated serious role that then led to the chances to get. Then the Donner's company gets her for the big multi-picture deal before she really became the A-lister, so they could get her for at least 3 movies before she could demand any big A-list payments. Then she goes and sucks off Harvey Weinstein to win the Oscar for the Silver Linings Playbook. So that's like a good 6-8 years or something. And then compare that to Matthew, who went from first really going up there, if you discount the early parts he just did, like in Texas non-union, to then there. That's pretty fast turnaround for him. That's right, because he's Matthew and you're not. Yeah. And unlike little Miss J-Law, born and raised in Kentucky, but she sounds like some Valley girl, sounds like some New York bitch. Is probably had that accent, and this Reese Witherspoon, she's born and raised in the South, but that kind of white bread, coastal smarmy uppity white girl voice is something she's putting on. But if you give her a part, she'll be wanting to put a real accent back on out there, like when she was clearly she went there and gave some Harvey Weinstein blowjobs, and she goes from Legally Blonde to winning an Oscar for playing Johnny Cash's wife, and suddenly she's all Southern again, or some other movies like that where suddenly there I'm back to sound like this, and then she's doing that show that wishes it was The Newsroom. It's the Me Too ripoff of The Newsroom on Apple. Suddenly she's back to sound like she could have been raised by parents who were like NPR producers in Manhattan. Well, Matthews always sounded like Matthews. Always been a Texan man. They say out there, and I used to go to church and say, we were always a Christian nation. We were born a Christian nation. We're going to stay a Christian nation till the good Lord returns. Well, I was born a Texan man. I was raised a Texan man. And I'm always going to be a Texan man until I finally going to shake off this motor car and find myself floating on up there into the celestial abode. And I might be having myself a good time. Willie Nelson's going to be waiting for me. Although probably I won't be sharing with him a doobie. That is right. Yeah. And what else we got to talk about? Well, don't forget about this. You've been hearing about Pauly Shore and, of all people, Richard Simmons. Pauly Shore got rejected for this 10-minute video proposal he gave to Richard Simmons, who hasn't been seen in public in years, talking about wanting to star in a movie about the life of Richard Simmons. And he got rejected, and now he's taken this up onto social media, on his Twitter, on his Instagram. Remember, he also has a YouTube channel, and he even got interviewed on TMZ talking about this, and now trying to do more and more, now going to the public and going to the social media sphere to try to convince Richard Simmons to do this. And day of dysfunction, yeah, you notice that present-day Pauly Shore does look like Richard Simmons these days. But that's the fact of Pauly Shore aging like milk. Here's a guy who was, literally grew up in a comedy store from childhood. He was surrounded by all the big comedy legends of that whole baby boomer generation. And all of them were big hard partiers, drugged out of their minds. And there they'd be down in the living room having big wild parties with his mom, who owned the comedy store, Mitzi Shore. And there they'd be making all that noise. He'd be staying up late. He'd be trying to party with them. So yeah, from the whole day, every day for him was like spring break. And then on top of that, you add into it him becoming a popular MTV personality, who then successfully transitioned his MTV personality success into a movie career. Even if it was only for a brief run, he still was able to do that. Now, that's more than I could say, and really maintain like a successful leading comedy career, leading man career as a comedy actor. I can say that's a lot more than I could say about Carrie Wurr, who was this hot young piece who was there. She was the redhead on Remote Control, that game show MTV did with Adam Sandler. And for a while there, yeah, she had a good run, and she was able to transition to mainstream stuff, bigger roles and mainstream movies. And then it all fell apart in the 2000s. I'm guessing maybe on the set of Eight-Legged Freaks, she must have shit-talked Scarlett Johansson. And even though she wasn't 18 yet, still, the sex favor she gave to Rob Reiner on the set of North was enough connections for her to go and get some actress she doesn't like to have her agent fuck with her career out of spite. Because, in Hollywood, yeah, women stick together unless there's a chance where they could advance their careers or they want to destroy a woman for the fun of it. So then they'll be glad to go and do what they can to have their life and career completely wrecked, and then gloat about, and then go and speak at the Women's March like the duplicitous scum that all ScarJo's always been. Yeah, the redhead from Sliders, Carrie Wurr. Before that, well, her first big breakout was, yeah, she was the hot girl on Remote Control. And you can find a bunch of old episodes of Remote Control on MTV. And yeah, Sliders, she was on that. Or if you remember, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. And well, now you see her, she like does signings at conventions. But there was a while there where she actually got to work with people like she was in a film with Jack Nicholson, directed by Sean Penn, called The Crossing Guard. You can imagine, like thinking back, if something reminds of, I worked with Jack Nicholson in a Sean Penn directed film, and now here I am signing, 8x10s of my character from Anaconda, where the biggest thing I did was make out with Owen Wilson in my bra in a swampy ass bayou until Owen Wilson got eaten. There's that. Yeah, Phalis, he was accurate. He was right about that when he did that review of Anaconda all those years ago, and he mentioned Owen Wilson's part in the movie where, yeah, this was still Owen Wilson at the beginning of his career, where he would just show up in 90s movies just to die. Between that and The Haunting remake and Armageddon. And put it in the back of, put it in the back of the Honda. Yes, if you want to. The role was the Weasel. Yes, the role the Weasel was born for, 6'6" Silka, because he's a stony individual. We're gonna go and know what we're gonna do. We're gonna go and aerobicize. That's right. We're gonna sweat to the oldies, sisters. Yeah, come on, look at the woods you created. Cause I'm the Weasel. Oh yeah, cause we're totally Simmons. Oh, yeah, here we are. Okay, we're going to be at this place. We're going to film my first Sweat into the Oldies video there because we're going to go and we're going to do this. I really want to help. I want to help you. You're out there. I see you girls out there. You're out there. You got the grindage going because you're sad and you're alone. You think no one's going to love you, that there's no hope for you to ever lose the weight. But I'm here to say no. I'm going to hold your hand and help you. I'm here to be your counselor. I'm here to make sure that you're able to go and take away from the grindage all day and night and get up and get moving. We're going to make this fun. That's right. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's what we're going to do here. And teach you about the real food groups. We got our dairy group here. We got our bread group here. And meat group. Make up your melons. All right, 2 minutes. Oh, it's cold in the middle. My anaconda don't want some unless you got buns, huh? Yeah. Oh, what can I taste if I found her? Abe, yes, she was gorgeous back in those days and willing to do nudity. There were multiple films where she did nudity if you want to see her naked. And one famous Conan O'Brien appearance she made where apparently, like in the late 90s, she tried to get a singing career going and actually did have an album. And there was this notoriously bad, misguided Conan O'Brien interview she made where she was dressing like a high-class hooker, showing up there and talking with Conan and just had Conan completely flabbergasted. And the way she was dressed and the way she was talking, if she went like that as a guest on Letterman, pervert Letterman was, he would have just started openly masturbating right there in the middle of the episode. And, it looks like we got a stony individual like Jespro who loves twerking. Oh, you're going to twerk for us, baby? Going to get out there? You're going to shake the bonbon? You got some bonbons in your hands. Well, you also got some bonbon stuff down the back of your pants. So how about we get in there and have a little fun? A little fun. Yeah, we're going to dance. You know what I want? I want a little song. I want a little dance. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. And don't worry, I know how to read. I can do that. Unlike Tarangel, I can read. I don't go through every super chat going once that there what was a girl who put today, Junior. Oh, you're tearing my ear off. I can't understand you. I've been physically abused in the ear. I see your lips moving, but I can't make out the words. I'm deaf. Oh, Veronica Vaughn. So hot. Want to touch the hiney. Oh. That's another girlie I've been chasing. Or maybe she tried to make an example at you. Or maybe she got something up her ass. Well, Just Bro says I'll twerk, and Abe says second
Seconded. Well, that is nice to see because we got a weasel. We got some weasels. We also got some Adam Sandler, who, if you remember, he made his debut. His acting debut was on Remote Control. He was there as a little guest. Even when they would go perform, they did do episodes of Remote Control live from MTV Spring Break, which is apparently what inspired Pauly Shore. I remember the book I Want My MTV, and there was a passage where Shore talks about he was like watching it, and then he thought, okay, him and his buddies, we got to go there. So like him and his buddies just I think like hitchhiked down I think Fort Lauderdale is where it was to go and take care of that and just get down there and get down to the party. And from there, and because of his connections in business, that's when he got to, that's what led to him becoming a part of MTV. And that's when he started doing Totally Pauly. And the success of Totally Pauly is what led to him getting his movie deal with doing, what was that? Oh, yeah, he's doing Encino Man. He's going to get out there with the caveman. He's going to party. Oh, yeah. Look. Fire. Flamage. Ooh, he likes the blue part. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, well, 6 Foot Soka says, time to eat. Take it easy, you weasos. Well, all right there. Remember, you always appreciate it. Thank you, Soka. Well, don't forget about them. I know you probably like them. Maybe add them to your collection. You know where to find them right there in my store. They'd probably love to have you. They probably could talk and maybe, hey, buy me, baby. Oh, come on. You want these jugs. You want these jugs out home. You want them home. You want them with you. Wish I could. Maybe I can do a little animation. Maybe I could go and do a little flip book so you get to see these jugs and they're bouncing up all over the place. Oh, yeah. You like them swinging, like them boobing, jiggling, like that Zoo magazine up in the UK. Yeah. Like those hot English models with the double D's like the Kelly Brook or the Keely Hazel. That's right, Abe. I know some British shit. Yeah, you remember Kelly Brook before she couldn't keep her hands off the pie? How they bounced and jiggled, but the rest of her looked nice too. Yeah. I got her Playboy, she did. And I enjoyed it, the one she did for around the time that she had her part in Piranha 3D. Little lesbian underwater nude makeout sesh with a porn star. Ooh. And it's to the tune of classical music, so you feel artistic. I just wish that there was those magazines over there was easier to get them without dealing with international shipping. I'd love to have some of them mags like that with the little Keely or Kelly out there and the way they jiggle, the way they bounce. Or there's another hot little blonde lady model like that in the 90s whose name escapes me. I think it's initials there. If I gotta go and find it, which one is this? The one? Let me see. Try to go and look up where it is. I think I got it written down. It's written down somewhere. This one 90s British model. Trying to think, it was like the 90s version of those I mentioned, Kelly Brook or Keely. Well, it's their trying to find where they are. Oh yes, Joanne Guest. That's one. You remember Joanne, you remember Keely, of course, Kelly as well. Ooh, and especially because she got really dirty. She was sticking things in holes that her mother probably wouldn't like to see. Up, what you doing with that tennis racket? And Abe, oh yes, Kelly Brook in her heyday was 3. Oh yeah, awesome, amazing, perfect. And also a dirty girl. Don't forget, actually, some of the, her quote unquote acting she did in that one movie that the Tammy and the T-Rex director did, where she's nude on the desert island and getting nailed by some guy, and then Billy Zane shows up and he spies on her as she's getting nailed on the beach in the water there. She could probably nurse a continent. Those things, oh yeah. Now, I mentioned before about Kate Winslet and Titanic, and now I've always enjoyed the thought of getting some breast milk that's sourced in the UK. And hello to Don Power Ranger. The passing of David McCallum. Well, I never watched NCIS, so I would not know who he is. But and my father, here's another one of my father's true Hollywood stories, London edition. He says, I got hit on in London by Samantha Fox. Speaking of
hot little English pop. She's a combination of a hot little English pop star and also a hot little English model. Saying here, I got hit on in London by Samantha Fox, who did do Playboy, but I don't have that issue. Would be fun to have, but you can't always get what you want. It took me years to finally get around to having my copy of the Elle Macpherson Playboy, which is one of the ones I wanted to have after seeing it online for so long. Like I said before about Keeley Hazel and Kelly Brook and all the what I saw that they would do over in the UK online, but never able to get the physical media of it. Except actually, there was this one bit I mentioned before about Georgetown. Well, one of the things about living in a big cosmopolitan area like that, that has all those resources, being the hub for career politicians, is at Georgetown. There was this like 3-story Barnes and Noble, and their magazine section was so vast that it had like English-speaking magazines from all over the world, from the UK and Australia, Canada. They had them right there, fresh on the rack. Well, as fresh as they could be. Because of the shipping delay, that's why that was when I first started reading Doctor Who magazine. He was seeing Doctor Who magazine on the shelves at that Georgetown Barnes and Noble that got me into Doctor Who. Like the last winter, it's like the last winter where I was living in DC and watching it. Yeah, you saw the Doctor Who magazine there, but I would then look up something that aired or something that was happening, and because of the shipping delay, it would always be like a week at a date. A time I would see it right there on the rack. Apparently, Samantha Fox is hitting on my father there, but I'm pretty sure that, nowadays you see her on a Wikipedia with her quote-unquote girlfriend. She's pulling a Madonna, or really it's a matter of what am I going to do to get me attention? That's why if people out there in the gay community, I'd imagine them sing some, actor, some singer, whatever, anybody like that in the media, whatever model, who then suddenly just arbitrarily hear them, oh, I identify as this now. I take it as a swipe across the face, and also ask the people in the business of whether or not they're just bullshitting. Like, apparently Samantha Fox, oh, I'm a lesbian, 2003. Yeah, bitch. There's a lot of people when it comes to the modeling world or into the music world out there in the UK that would have personal proof that they could testify in court to show otherwise. That, oh no, the people like that, show business, that turn that into a fashion statement or into a career move. Pure. Yeah, that's the recent example of that being Wayne Brady. That's why I love the Babylon Bee headline mocking him, saying Wayne Brady comes out as desperate to be relevant again. That's basically what they're saying. That's what is Samantha Fox or Wayne Brady is like. That's pretty good. And yep, my father was hit on by Samantha Fox back in her prime. Her whole "Naughty Girls Need Love Too," which I remember that song. Disturbingly, I remember that song thanks to the donkey show scene from Clerks 2. The whole reason that Rosario Dawson agreed to do the movie was when they offered her the role, it was the donkey show. That's what sold her. The line that was in all the advertising of "I'm disgusted and repulsed and I can't look away." Yes, she liked that. She for whatever reason, either for the bizarre comedy or it's just something like weird and perverted, she wanted to just observe, like the 2 Girls 1 Cup video. Either way, what sold Rosario Dawson on being in the movie was the thought of interspecies erotica. Yes. You can't get arrested for watching interspecies sex act. All you get is probably a fine and people who will be frowning at you because they can't enjoy and understand sexual exploration. I miss my donkey. Oh, I bet that man still misses his donkey. The way I miss that, yes, it is true. Naughty girls need love too. Although hopefully not while a bearded, obese man who looks like a trucker is having sex with a donkey, and there's a kid in the corner masturbating saying, "I'm sorry, Jesus." What kind of sick fuck gets off watching a guy fuck a donkey? Oh, Kinky Kelly and the sexy stud. Turns out there's no chick. I'm the sexy stud. Where's Kinky Kelly and the sexy stud? I'm the sexy stud. This is Kinky Kelly, but this donkey's a dude. Kelly could be a guy's name too. Oh yeah. Oh fuck, cops again. Gotta finish. Ooh, cake.
Take him, you fucking whore. Yes, only a Kevin Smith movie would try to have that kind of harrowing drama right there in the middle of a man having sex with a donkey, and then the police show up because the Dante called in what he thought was calling in 911 because he wanted to report a fire. Because he misses his donkey. Do you miss your donkey? Who out there has ever had a pet donkey to miss it? Yes. Damn. Oh, and my father says the specific time, it was in 1986. My father was in London on business, and there, Little Miss Naughty Girls Need Love too. Oh, yeah, I wanted that. And my father was married, so yeah, he didn't do it. It was one of the many examples of some hot, like famous pussy that he said no to over time. And how did my mother repay him? By cheating on him with a flute cleaner. Yes, cheated on him with a flute cleaner. And also women that were in there with her when she was touring with the U.S. Army marching band, talking about, we're calling him, we saw her here in the bar going away with this strange guy. Then after that, he said he wanted a divorce. She called the cops on him, had everybody interviewed, me, everyone else in the house, that my mother was lying. Then she walked out in a fit of rage, and then the police went and served him and her kids an eviction notice. Yes. And specifically, what did Samantha Fox say to my father? She said that his pecs were delicious. Does that sound like the statement of a lesbian? Fuck no. It's especially with that kind of crowd and those kind of hollow people that kind of stunt appeals to. It's not, they're the ones who never practice what they preach of the whole, sexuality is a spectrum. Bullshit. It's only ever fluid or a spectrum one way, where somebody that you saw who was with a woman that was with nothing but dudes, nothing but slutting around with guys, and then suddenly, now they're in their 50s or 60s, their relevancy went bye-bye years ago, so now they're going to use coming out as a career move. But say you got somebody who was, they were out there, they were a lesbian or they were a gay man, and suddenly you see them with a woman or with a man, then you throw them out into the fucking woods. E.g. Anne Heche after the late 90s, where then she broke away from Ellen DeGeneres, and the career that whole stunt got her, gone. And her marrying a guy and having kids with him and all that, they ignored that at light speed. Or say like there was a director who got famous for this in the 90s indie circuit for doing these gay-oriented kind of films, like one called Totally Fucked Up. And then he wound up later on in the 90s, started dating one of the actresses from 90210. And suddenly this big edgy status says, this big edgy outspoken gay director. Then suddenly his whole status as like the new Gus Van Sant disappeared in a flash. The second there he is out in public with dating a woman. So yeah, disingenuous douche canoes party of everyone in showbiz. Especially with Madonna. You actually believe, oh yeah, I've been a lesbian all along. Bullshit. Lady, I actually saw Truth or Dare. I remember your blowjob technique on that bottle of sparkling water. No lesbian's able to down that much down their throat, okay? I'm not even saying the gold star lesbians, the other kind or whatever, the kind who, you gotta go and, suck the dick or fuck the dick to realize you don't like to fuck or suck the dick. They ain't downing that much. And you can go and just go to YouTube and watch, just type Madonna Truth or Dare water bottle, and you'll see where all her backup dancers are in awe of how much of this bottle she's able to down. Yeah. Yep. And also, going back to Samantha Fox and all that, she was saying that my father's pecs were delicious while she was grabbing them, basically being the 80s British version of Nicole Kidman in Batman Forever, when she's trying to lure Batman in so that she can grow up his pecs and try and fuck him. Yeah, I imagine my father watching that scene in Batman Forever and it reminding him of Samantha Fox. Yeah.
My mother did go to band camp and play the flute. So she, for all of the hot Hollywood pussy my father could have been with, but didn't because he was married, and her being the flautist, the Cal Arts graduate. Oh, she's not like that. Or the one who she was always looking down her nose at those attractive women that my father would either like encounter or work with, and never laid a hand on them sexually. And there she was cheating on him, and people in the band on the phone confirming this, what they were seeing with their own eyes. It's that court case equivalent, the divorce case equivalent of all the people who came up and spoke in Johnny Depp's favor against Amber, who were associated with Amber before. And yeah, here's the shit she did this, and that's shit she did there. And also on top of that, on his behalf, Richard Donner, director of Lethal Weapon, also sent in court papers to testify on my father's behalf, along with his wife, Lauren Schuler, the producer of the X-Men movies. No, what they did, sworn statements. They sent sworn statements on my father's behalf. They took to the judge. They took time away from making. They on their own volition, they offered and did bring in sworn statements to the case while he was in the middle of directing Lethal Weapon. No, while he was in the middle of directing Assassins, starring Stallone, and also the first big Hollywood lead role for anti-NRA activist Julianne Moore, which just shows her she's just, a two-faced little cunt. You hate the NRA, and then you'll gladly go out there for your first big lead studio role where you're working with Stallone and the director of Lethal Weapon. But then again, probably that's just what from one filthy whore's turn deserves another. Yeah. They volunteered this. This was my father goading them into it, and flew and both of them brought in these sworn statements to do this, which put egg all over my mama's face. And they sent a thing about money's don't pay me and what they pay me and all that shit. And yeah, imagine having that when you're not somebody who's like a big famous actor. You're not a big celebrity, and you have those kind of Hollywood connections coming in on your behalf to defend your name. Talk about that there's egg on the face, and then that's like some kind of like egg smearing fetish porn you would find on the Japanese version of Pornhub. And even the Japanese would be like, what the fuck is this? What do you do with the eggs? In this day and age, though, that's especially, you waste the eggs. Have you seen what the eggs are cursed? You are wasting your time and your money. Yes, as a shibo, I can just imagine my mother just like trying not to like pull her hair out or just like smash the shit out of things or throw pitchers of water at people. Like that. If you remember the trial scene in what was it? Oh yeah, Wild Things, where Denise Richards winds up throwing water at Neve Campbell, calling her a skinky bitch when she's on the witness stand. Yeah, something like that. I'm amazed that my mother didn't do that when seeing those sworn statements. Yeah. Or the lawyer and all that cost him. The flute. There's a golden flute that my father got for her. It cost him $20,000. And in the middle of the case, the judge apparently said, according to my father, ma'am, your husband's the real deal, unlike you and your oath under oath lies about him. Yes, that's ow, ouch. Unfortunately, I cannot get my finger to glow like ET, but ouch. ET. Oh, arigato, seberebedo. Yeah, I'll be right here. That is delicious. Oh, Caio, I'm sorry, but Paco Burrito is truly delicious. Oh, I'm not going to do that if they're going to be forced to eat my poo. Food har! Food har! Oh, yes.
Yes, that is how we do as a did the door. If you bring dishonor to my court system, you bring a dishonor to my court, I want you to destroy. You're going to find you will weave when you die. It will be without honor. Oh, there, Orokusaki. You wear his symbol upon your brow. Oh, dear for their sons. I love you all, my sons. That is the true ninja, the art of invisibility. Ooh, now we have the visibility in the hair, in Urak Adis. That is our finished Nami right here for you. Getting it all focused and nice. Right next to, let's compare this to our Nami in color. And right here, right now, what you see are both versions. And I will go and repost the link to my art store in here for you to see. The link to my art store so that whichever one of these you would like to get, just remember, following the link to my art store and a $30 donation will get you either one of these, and a $50 donation will get you both. If you would like to have these beautiful anime jugs right here, right then, they will come. I will send them into the mail. I will send them to you in the mail first thing in the morning. And so you can enjoy these this piece of pirate booty. As I know, pirate booty is the kind of booty you love. Why? Because it is very firm and it is very nice. It is firm and rubbery and nice. And very jiggery too. It is jiggery, and bouncy. Why? Because we are going to deflay the fighter. We are going to show you all how on the king of fighters, you will learn to strike hard and fade away without a trace. Then it is gone. You are different from your brothers because you choose to fight your battles alone. There will be peace for you, my son. I mentioned Intron Depot last night with my Shiro Masamune. Well, I do have 3 of Shiro Masamune's manga. The Ghost in the Shell. I also have the second Dominion. Was it a Dominion Conflict 1? Well, also Orion. Here's my copy of Orion. This is the mystical fantasy one that he did. I made a funny. Zaeb, you do not want to eat my poo, do you? You're not going to do that. Cuttlefish is about to come out of asshole. Hang on, Caillou. I believe in you. Well, maybe you can see why maybe keeping this around to help with the completion of Tanya, Lady of the Blade might be a good idea. Especially with moments like this. It's some great fun. I remember going through a comic convention and I was going through dollar boxes and I found the first issue. When this was first translated to English, it was printed by Dark Horse as a miniseries. And they had issue 1 there. I picked it up and I wanted the rest. So eventually what happened was I did go to a Mult of Midnight and eventually I was able to go and get this there. And yeah, I'm keeping it. This is a Masamune Shiro is one of the real great masters of manga. So his work is something you should really study. He is a true artisan above and beyond. I'm not knocking manga, but a lot of it looks mechanical to me. A lot of it looks the same. A lot of it looks like there is not a real distinctive individual talent behind it. But with Shiro Masamune's work,
He is an artiste. He is a craftsman, not a cordwainer. There are so many cordwainers out there, but he is one of the craftsmen. And, well, Abe, I'm guessing, well, I'm pretty sure now with all that disgusting talk about the eat my poo, maybe we can go back to bring up more about how Samantha Fox or Keely Hazel or Kelly Brook and how much they loved to get naked. So now for the men out there who know who she is, so Kelly Brook, how hard would you have spanked her until she cried and begged daddy to stop? Especially if you had her dressed like a private schoolgirl, like a very promiscuous English private schoolgirl. So the headmaster can go and punish her privately because she is so filthy. Because when a girl like her is filthy, with her itty bitty waist and that tight ass and those heaving jugs, a man must punish a woman who is flaunting her lusty femininity that way. To remind her that you may have those hips and those breasts and that ass and those lips, but don't forget about the tender lips below, and also don't forget that the man is in charge to guide you and discipline you and punish you when you are being naughty, when you are inflicting upon a man impure thoughts. Some more greatness right there. Oh, yeah. Ain't that beautiful? Although, when it comes to all those British hotties I mentioned, my father will take a Swedish meatball instead. Like this one woman he was training for a while that my mother got paranoid about, even though he never laid a hand on her. Yeah. Although, look at that. That's another great couple-page spread right here. Just gorgeous, explosive, exciting, kinetic. Things I want to put into Tanya. Yes, actually, no, she wasn't Swedish. She was Miss Finland. Yeah, she was Miss Finland. All right, I correct the record right there. She was Miss Finland and then came to Hollywood, and he trained her there. And it got to the point where my father actually put her on the phone. No, put the message she left on the answering machine and put the on speaker there for her to hear, to prove. No, see, I am not doing anything with her. Did you give it up, you paranoid neurotic? Yes.
She drove all the way from the valley to the house so she could watch us train.
She drove all the way. My mother drove all the way out.
Valerie did.
No, to see where we were training. That's how far that she was driving. My mother was there to see it because she was that paranoid. But yeah, Ava, I'm the scat man. Scabbity dabbity babbity babbity babbity. Oh yes, but no. Oh yeah, we can't do that now, can we? We can't just have a little bit of the ooh and a bit of the ooh. Honey, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything of that sort. What I'm doing is training a woman. I'm actually doing my job. You know, maybe you should stop getting in the way of me doing this because it doesn't just keep you in $20,000 gold flutes. It also means that we can actually afford to live in LA. Okay, living in the job wasn't even a gig economy, just a freelance job like that, self-employed like that. I cannot miss anything that would alienate anybody who's actually paying me. All right, so I got this shit to go and do. You got to go and maybe find something to work out your problems and your issues, because clearly you've got some self-esteem problems that you should be taking up with someone else. You should be figuring out your own problem with your own life in your own way that does not concern doing what you can to interfere with my livelihood. Some more greatness from Masamune-san. Yes. Here they do have a name in the way that in the West we would do it. In Japan, remember, the surname comes first. So if you're in Japan, it's Masamune-san. It's Masamune Shiro. Why they do it that way, I do not know. But I do know that we have a shu and a sahu. Ebadahu, ebakabatsu. Why do you do this? Because you are forced to eat my pew. Do sir. I will not do this if they are going to be forced to do the cuttlefish that will come out of asshole. And my father here also clarifies, I had more than one actress who met and said, "How can you stay with her? She's not nice." Mean, paranoid, embittered, very much an Amber situation. That's why I know the more and more you hear about the marriage my father had, the more and more I bet you probably are now seeing, for especially with that Umbrella Guy fans that are coming over here, you can see the parallels to what AH put Johnny through and what my father was put through. And on top of that, he's still suffering for life.
First of every month.
First of every month. That's an example of, don't get played. Well, yeah, she got played by her looking like she was such the seemingly nice, good Catholic girl and all that. And no, she was the biggest vindictive slut out there compared to all the women he encountered in Hollywood. That is a big milestone, considering that he had the chance to be with Samantha Fox before she started lying about being a lesbian to try to get some attention.
You think that's hotter than Cheryl Ladd?
Or other women out there like Terry Hatcher before she was even on Star Trek: The Next Generation, or Cheryl Ladd after As Charlie's Angels was going on. Yeah, that was
right in front of your mother.
And I don't know if you heard that, but yes, my father was there with my mother, this Hollywood party, and this pre-famed Terry Hatcher sat in his lap and tried to get with him in front of his pregnant wife. It reminds me,
8 months pregnant.
She was 8 months pregnant. It reminds me of something I remember. Something that I remembered from watching Unsolved Mysteries all the time was they had this one correspondent that worked on the show. Her name was Keely Shea Smith. And I remember saying, oh yeah, I remember her being on Unsolved Mysteries all the time. Wonder where she is now. Well, I didn't know her by name, but yeah, she's been married to Pierce Brosnan for decades. And it reminded me of something from an interview that Pierce Brosnan did where he talked about women, about a situation where he would be multiple occasions, multiple anecdotes of him being at these parties, these Hollywood parties, where he'd be with his wife. And there would be women that were so openly thirsty for his tight little Irish ass, his tight little Irish 007 ass. And they would go and hit on him right in front of his wife. And his wife, before she discovered pie, was a hot little number, remember, she was on Unsolved Mysteries. She was like a TV journalist. She was a journalist there, was on TV right there. I mean, if she swung that way and the way she looked on Unsolved Mysteries, if she born a decade later, would have been a perfect little hot little number in the little miniskirt, tight little fit for a Fox News show. And there he was with her, with his woman, hot or not. And if anything, that really shows him being the kind of guy who was the anti-Hugh Grant. There's a guy where when it comes to, there you are, you've got this, you're the big name, you're in Hollywood, and is he cheating on her? No, he's been with her, I think, when she had some kind of illness, I think cancer, and even then, when she went and became the Goodyear blimp, he wasn't cheating on her, he's been caught cheating on her, he didn't divorce her. There's the rare example, at least when it comes to how big Hollywood men treat women. Well, he may have been great at playing James Bond. I fully agree with the Critical Drinker's assessment of, out of all of the all of the other versions of James Bond after Sean Connery, that Pierce Brosnan is the best out of them. He's the one that is the one who is like the Goldilocks of them. He's the one who is not too ridiculous, not too self-serious, because you've got the Timothy Dalton and Daniel Craig, them trying being so hard to make them plausible. It's like those movies are stuck in early 2000s superhero movies, the post Batman and Robin comic book movies, where they had to try to go and put thought in their scripts and make them more acceptable to more adult audiences, instead of what you saw in the 90s and shit like Batman and Robin. But then with Roger Moore, then it got more and more from Batman and Robin to Batman Forever levels of ridiculousness and theatricality. But with Pierce Brosnan, his portrayal of the character, at least, I'm going by their performances, not going by the quality of the movies. But performance-wise, Brosnan was the one who had that avuncular, dry British wit and charm and dark humor, but also was the one who had the articulate sense of gentleman spy fun of the whole matter. So and Critical Drinkers said that in much sharper words than I did. And since the Critical Drinkers' day job is being a successful best-selling spy novelist, I would say his opinion on the ultimate spy in fiction probably has a lot more personal knowledge and experience and is more valid than Movie Bob's. I would put it out there. And Daily Dysfunction has a declaration simply saying, Pierce Brosnan is hot. Well, he's aged a lot better than you would expect from a lot of British actors, especially those that are considered like the good looking ones. And then you see them and they become like haggard or whatever. Maybe that's another thing that would compare him to the parallel to being the best version of James Bond since Sean Connery is the fact, well, that he's aged a hell of a lot better than the others. You know, that there was Sean Connery in a walker and women were still like, I'm going to suck that man's dick off. Leave me alone, ladies. I just want to have my soup. Yeah, I said, come on, let us suck your dick. Let me suck your dick. And yes, that means, yes, even the sisters, Bunifa, Khalifa, Sharifa, Letitia, Jackson, and all her sisters and cousins that are bus drivers and subway attendees and the subway car riders, and also don't forget about post office workers. There they are banging on Sean Connery's door. Come on, let me in. Come on, Sean Connery, let me suck your dick. Oh, yes, Sir Ruby-san's little right there of One Piece tonight. And yeah, Christopher says he prefers American men with an occasional Canadian. So, Christopher, considering how randy he's gotten over the years, did you ever fool around with Scott Thompson and Kids in the Hall? The only one of them who admits to being gay. I say, yeah, he's the only openly gay one because, come on, any 5 guys that insistent on doing drag that much, come on. It's only the fact that I'll call it, yeah, 5 Canadian guys in drag who won't, and only one of them will admit that he's gay. Well, Christopher says he said men, so I'm guessing no on Scott Thompson. Well, okay. He never got a little randy or a little filthy with that man who tells the story in a stand-up act about being in a bathhouse and getting rejected by a man walking around in a PVC bodysuit on his hands and knees with a funnel stuck in his mouth and called himself the human urinal. The humiliation of being turned down sexually by a man who calls himself the human urinal. Christopher says that twinks are for Nick. Well, you can ask him about that. Nick. Well, he said to that, talking about how pretty Aaron Carter was before all the drugs and all the tattoos. And then eventually he was found in the bathroom. Or of course the Guess jeans, the Calvin Klein model that his Michigan's starting quarterback JJ McCarthy, who looks like he would be in a boy band, but no, he's a quarterback with some high NFL prospects to him. Or also, Ronan Farrow, that one, the columnist that brought down, or one of the columnists that was involved in bringing down Harvey Weinstein. Baby, the other white meat, baby, it's what's for dinner. And now, speaking of Popeyes, they got Popeyes there. Oh no, it's KFC. Sorry.
Good for your blood clots.
Yeah, Deion Sanders, a man who had part of a foot amputated, a man who's had blood clots and a foot amputated. He's now the spokesman for KFC. Yes, KFC. A man with blood clots. The only spokesman that would be a more suicidal example as a KFC spokesman would be Ethan Van Sciver with the blood clots he's been going through. Well, now that Sir Ubi-san's here, this is the last call for super chats and for super stickers and channel memberships and donations into my art store. I just posted the link into my art store again. The last call for all of that, donations and super stickers and super chats. Here are the pieces we did tonight. And if anybody wants them, follow the link to my art store, and a $30 donation will get you either one of these, and a $50 donation will get you both. And if you go and buy one of these as a donation, that will immediately go in the mail first thing tomorrow morning and be the subject of a Luke Goes Postal video. I'll be keeping this up for all of you. Sir Ubi-san, a guy like in the event Skyver who gloats about spending more time eating pie and pork and red meat and fried chicken and alcohol and marijuana on multi-hour self-indulgent live streams than he does into actually finishing the comics he says he's going to make. Well, yeah, it turns out he's got a blood clot problem. A little bit right there. A little fun for you. Oh, yeah. A little bit of fun for me. Oh, boom, baby, it's fun for me. Oh, going, baby, now it's fun for me. Oh, a dope go lady, it's fun for me. Just one nice last great shot of a couple pages out of Orion. One of my favorite manga from, I would say my favorite mangaka, Masamune Shiro. Yes, Masamune-san. Oh, Sidokataka. You are filthy around there. And yes, Christopher, we know you love the white meat, but do you go and you don't eat fried chicken, do you? Oh no, it's a Christopher talking to Daily Dysfunction about how much she enjoys white meat. And Daily Dysfunction says that she had Popeyes once; it wasn't too bad. But Christopher, do you get fried chicken, or do you get like actually like really cooked chicken from a takeout? From you get it takeout, or you in store at a sit down place? Because we would like to know. And Abe says he understood every word of that. I've wondered now between my interest in bande dessinée, the French comics, and in manga, I wonder which of those two languages is harder to learn, between Japanese and French. Now, I was interesting about that. Between all the bande dessinée I have and the best manga I have, I wonder what would be a harder language to learn. In the strategy of Jiba here, you are the shife. Oh, go fife. Fife go fife. A fife go fife here. Abe says Japanese is harder to learn than French. Well, that's one answer. At least that's one straight answer from somebody. Well, that's one answer. Maybe I should go and do a poll of that. A poll for ask the people if they think which one is harder to learn. No, with all the Godzilla movies I've been watching lately, this looks like some kind of big explosion of a giant Godzilla villain, doesn't it? I'd say so, at least. Filthy Roundai. Wanna hold out a rub? Wanna hold out a rub? Wanna hold out a rub? You keep ruining the river. I'm not curing. Garbage has you back to screwing. How dare you read? How will he who my rev? How will he who high rev? Oh, I hold I rev. Wanna hold I rev. I wanna hold I rev. Oh, happy he be here. Every man who even shall have foofen. All that he has true. Okay, well, if you've got any super chats or any donations to give, this is the last time as we're going in there. And my father says that his Japanese ex was beautiful, but there is a reason that they make. There's that little bit's blurred, but there's a reason that they make Asian condoms. Yes, there's a reason they make Asian condoms because yes, my father's Japanese girlfriend, she was beautiful, but the great big American penis. Oh, in Japan, the penis is so small. The penis is so small. You must have a large penis. You must have the gargantuan penis. Your penis must be the size of a Gojira. Well, in Japan, a penis is the size of the end. Abe explains that honestly, they're not close at all. East Asian languages have more massive alphabets, vocabularies, and cultural references. French is easy as hell in comparison. Well, I'll take your word for it. You sound like you have a more experience and more of the understanding. A little bit of the arigato sameo. Arigato hayo kanana. Oh, hayo kanana. Oh, hayo kanana. Oh, hayo kanana. Oh, arigato. Oh, yes, we've got the tea. Yeah, the sound of the tea means that it is time for the end of the stream. I thank you for watching. Subscribe. Check that you're still subscribed. Don't forget to support the channel by becoming a member with the first link in the description below. Don't forget also that you can shop in my art store with the second link in the description below. And my poster art is $200. Color art is $30. Pen and ink art is $25. Sketchbooks are $25. And trading cards are only $10. Commissions in color are $60. Commissions in pen and ink are $50. And commissions in trading cards are only $20. And besides that, you can go and donate. Any denomination is accepted around the world when you donate to my store. The donations, the minimum donation even is appreciated because donations go immediately to me and my art store. It doesn't go to YouTube, and I don't have to share it with anybody. So think about that. And if you live outside of America and you want to buy my art or commission me, just you would have to make your payment as a donation since my store can't accept foreign purchases. Just add up the prices of what you want in US dollars with another 25 US for the international shipping and handling fee, and your items will immediately ship. Tomorrow, my shorts premiere at 5 p.m. Eastern, 5:30. My next video is at 6:30, and I'll be live again at 10. So you still got, the night is young. You still got a night to go out there and either buy either one of the pieces I did with that donation, or you can go and make the similar donation amount to get either any of the pieces that I did last week of dinosaurs and babes that have not been posted for sale. And that means tomorrow morning, I'll then be out and shipping it and recording my Luke Goes Postal video. But till then, felines, slam it, lick it, suck it, and see you, Space Cowboy.